actually went to Keno for the first time.
Keno.
My first time in Nairobi. As well as teach you how to use M-Pesa, connected to your local banking in the States. So I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, of the Gullah Geechee culture. We need that other information to then put together a quote for you. And it's so confusing because Kenyans are so nice, so welcoming, so reserved. And when they get on that highway,
until you meet them in traffic.
Tasmanian devils. They turn into a whole nother, it's like, to me, the Kenyan culture is passive aggressive. It's not an aggressive culture.
Yeah.
But on the road, it's aggressive. My name is Kia Simmons. I take on my Kenyan name that was given to me.
Wakesho is your Kenyan name?
Yes. It was given to me now 14 years ago. I am the CEO and founder of Traverse Culture. We are a travel concierge company that specializes in humanitarian work, relocation services, business development, and now medical tourism inbound to Kenya. Yes.
I know you are Black American.
Yep.
But where is your origin?
Right. So I'm from Charleston, South Carolina, of the Gullah Geechee culture. Shout out to the 843. Those who know Gullah Geechee, put something in the comment section. I always say I'm a little girl from a small town in the South who dropped out of the 10th grade of high school and got a GED and ended up here on the continent. That wasn't, typically, when you have a background like mine, born to an addict, the crack era was during the 80s where I was born. People count you out. They actually, the United States counted out an entire generation. But we made it, and thank God I come from a pretty good family. Unfortunately, the woman who birthed me made a different decision, but I was able to make it out. So there was no way in heck I thought I would be here where I am right now if you would have told me that as a little girl.
Tell me your history with the United States military. I understand you are an ex-soldier. Yeah, I'm ex-U.S. Army veteran. I served in Iraq and Korea while being in the military. It was just a means to an end, to be honest with you. Most Americans, they could say that they're patriotic, but 9 times out of 10, you join in the military because there's a means to the end so that you can create a lifestyle for yourself or your child. And I have a son, shout out to my son. He's 19 years old now. He's in university in the U.S. Studying clinical psychology. But yeah, I joined the military because I needed to make a home for my son and to be able to take care of him. Okay. Yeah. In the military, you served in Afghanistan while still in the military? No, I was a civilian once I got to Afghanistan. I got out the military and then... Where was your deployment when you were in the military? Iraq and Korea. Iraq and Korea. How was it? At that particular time when you were being deployed in Iraq, how was it? In the beginning, you're kind of scared because you don't know what to expect. And the first night I'll tell you a funny story. The first night I got to Iraq, actually in Balad, landed, and I did my orientation, all my paperwork, and I went to the transitional tents and for women, and they did like a training
kind of alarm or whatever. So the alarm goes off. I'm thinking we're being attacked, but it was just a training. And so the girls is like, I'm like, get up. We're up. And the girls is like, go to sleep. It's just a training. I was like, oh.
It was just a drill.
Drill, that's what it is, yes. Just a drill. I was like, oh my gosh.
And you are up in arms, ready to...
And it's like 1 in the morning. These people sleeping. They're like, please go back to sleep. We trying to sleep. Yeah.
Beautiful. But at that particular time, was it when Afghanistan was having a lot of conflict? And especially we are talking about, not Afghanistan,
Iraq, yeah.
When Iraq was having a conflict with the United States.
Absolutely. Iraq was hot. Like, it was hot. Saddam Hussein was still moving and shaking, and his sons was, doing this thing. And ironically, we were stationed in Mosul. I served at Fort Stewart, 3rd ID. So for those who will be watching, they probably know 3rd ID. Mm-hmm. We were actually the brigade that actually assassinated his sons. So I remember that day when they assassinated the 2 sons in Mosul, and you can hear like just people pop, and their cannons going off and things like that. And they were excited that they were able to assassinate his sons, which is crazy when you think about it once you get out the military. But when you're in it, you're like happy just like everybody else.
Yeah, you're serious?
Yeah.
So, sometimes whenever I talk to soldiers and I'm like, I don't know if I could like survive in the military for long, because I remember sometime we went to do what you call war journalism, and those drills were just like sometimes amazing, but I would not want to experience that in a battlefield. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. It's not normal living for sure, but you get used to it. It's really weird. You get used to it.
What is the one thing or occurrence that when you sit makes you remember your time in Iraq?
Oh man, that's a good question. Maybe I really don't have a lot of occurrence, but because I do have PTSD, if something like big pop off, I may jump and be like, and there's certain things that I do, like I don't like to sit with my back turned if there's only one way in, one way out, you know what I mean, in a restaurant or a movie theater or whatever the case, well, not a movie theater, but a restaurant or wherever, or combat parking, so backing up and parking as opposed to pulling in the event something happened, you could just drive off.
They remind you of some things.
Yes. Or you start implementing certain things that you did while you were in a war zone. Yes.
Okay. Now, let's talk about a story that is very interesting and a story that will be interesting and is interesting to Kenyans.
Yes.
Your time in Afghanistan.
Right.
Tell me, how was it? And at that particular time, were you still in the military?
No, I was a civilian. I had got hired to this company called DynCorp, which is an aviation company actually, and it is actually the company that does the maintenance for Air Force One.
Yeah.
At that moment, I'm not sure if they're still doing the maintenance for Air Force One. But aviation company, I was hired to do escorting first, and then I met my first Kenyan ever in life.
You met in Afghanistan?
Yes, I've never met a Kenyan a day of my life until I got to Afghanistan, and I met my brother, James Mloasi.
You're gonna warm your thing?
Yeah. I'm hungry now.
So what's up? How have you been?
Good. Now you're here in Nairobi.
I know, right? you in love with Nairobi.
I thought he had lived in the States when I first met him, because he kind of knew our lingo as Black Americans and things like that, and just how he dressed. And I was like, "Oh, you from the States?" He was like, "No, I'm from Kenya." So he wasn't
speaking the way I do.
No.
Me, I have a Kenyan accent.
No, yeah, he still had an accent, but he still kind of, he knew the slangs, our dialect, and our humor, then how he dressed. And I thought he had lived in the States, but no, he never been to the States till this date. Never wanted to go to the States.
I'd never left Kenya, me, all my life. That was the first time I was out of the country. So one day there was this, my supervisor came in with one of, I think it was a general, 2-star general. And they were talking to me, and I was sending emails. And this general asked me, where do you come from in the States? I said, I've never been in the States. He says, where did you learn your English? I said, Kenya. He said, where did you get that fluent English? I said, Kenya. I've never been. They could not believe. So I was so proud to be Kenyan. Because to me, to be honest, I looked at it like an insult. What is he talking about? That I don't know English. Mimi nafundishwa Kizungu, najua Kiswahili, najua Kizungu kutoka nyumbani kwetu.
And we met, we connect, we started talking, we just automatically connect. It was crazy. And the job that I had, I was making substantially less than the job that he was working in the position. And I told, he told me where he was working at, and I'm like, man, I need to be over there where y'all at. He was like, I got you.
You saw an opportunity.
Yes. He's like, I got you. I'll get you a job. And sure enough, in 24 hours, a Kenyan got me another job.
She felt like this was a brother who came through for me, and we are strangers. I don't know her. I don't come from the States. I've never been in the States. So she was kind of keen to know my life and how it is. So she wanted to know about Kenya, and we started to talk about Kenya, ikuaje, where is it at?
Who are these people?
Who are these people? Iko wapi kwa Africa? Namwambia Kenya iko mahali fulani. I used to have this chain. This chain has an Africa lapped with a star pale Kenya iko.
The one that people, yes, I know.
Africa, but it has a star. Namwambia pando Kenya iko. So that's how we started talking.
And I went from probably maybe $30,000 more than what I was getting paid before in 24 hours. And from then we became family.
Is it something that what you've just explained, is it what ignited you, your love for Kenya? Like, for example, you wanted to know more about Kenya and Kenyans.
Yeah, because I didn't know where Kenya was at on the map. He's talking to me, he telling me about all this stuff about his country, and I'm like,
you didn't know where Kenya was?
I didn't know where Kenya was at on the map. I knew it was Africa, you know that part, but I didn't know it was East Africa, and all of the great things that he was telling me, and I got excited. So I said, I'm going to Kenya. I'm going to go to Kenya. He was like, no, you ain't going. Where bought my ticket? I'm like, hey, when we going?
So out of nowhere, she was like, I'm booking my flight to Kenya, James, this time around. They used to go vacation Dubai, walikuwa naenda Dubai, walikuwa naenda Kuwait. Akaniambia mimi nakuja ke? Nikamwambia sawa. Come.
We started preparing for the trip and things of that nature. And before I went, which is funny, I was telling him, I'm like, oh, we gonna do this business, we gonna do that business. He was like, just wait. Just wait, cause you're doing too much. Like, just wait, cause I'm throwing out businesses I don't think Kenya have, and he listening, kind of like, okay, you'll see when you get there. And sure enough, we get here. Everything that I was talking about, it was already here. He was like, see, I just wanted you to see it first. So yeah. That was.
Which year was this?
2011. I believe it's August 2011. I believe.
No, the year you first met your Kenyan friend.
2011.
2011. And you made the decision that, you know what, Kenya, if I ever travel to Africa, Kenya will be the first place I land.
Yeah, well, that's the first place I was kind of, told about through James. So yeah.
So Kenya is a diverse country, diverse culture, diverse people. What was this first culture about Kenya that you were introduced first to by James?
Right. So when we landed here at Moi, International in Mombasa. First off, we got here like at 1:35 a.m. or something like that. I can't remember. I think we flew with Ethiopia. And immediately they were already at the airport waiting for us, him and his wife. And we ready to party. I was like 28. You know what I mean? I was like 28 years old, so I'm hyped. And the first thing we did is when Nakumat was it was the place to go to get stuff. We went to Nakumat, bought some wine, and then we went straight to Bob's place. And I'm like culture shock because they're playing like 50 Cent or something like that in the club. And we just up on we from America. And it was just like, wow, I didn't even expect Kenya to be this modern. People were already automatically super nice. You know, we spent the night at his aunt's house. And I tell this story all the time. When we got to his aunt's house, I didn't think anybody lived in a tent or a hut or anything like that. But I didn't think, this is gonna sound crazy, that they had flat screen TV. She had surround sound systems, a microwave, the whole nine. We was like, now we have been lied to, bamboozled, and hoodwinked about Africa. We spent the night at his aunt's house. The next morning we woke up. You know, they live in Bamburi. We walk outside the neighborhood. It looks like Miami, Florida. You know, aside from the chickens walking around, we're like, okay, we in Africa. But other than that, it looked like Miami, Florida. So it was more of, man, we have been lied to about Africa. And that's all we kept saying the whole day. We've been lied to. Yes.
So let me ask, I know you've talked about your first impression there, but when you landed, for example, the first place you went was Mombasa.
Yes.
But you stay in Nairobi.
Yeah.
What attracted you to the city of Nairobi?
There's a crazy story behind that. I won't get into how I got to Nairobi. Mm-hmm. But when I did come into Nairobi, I actually went to Keno for the first time.
Keno.
My first time in Nairobi. And I'm at a bar, and a lot of Kenyans work in Afghanistan. And I'm at a bar, I'm about to leave the bar, and I hear somebody call Relocation. I'm like, ain't no way somebody know me in Nairobi. This is my first time in Nairobi. Well, it was one of the guys who worked with us. He's Kenyan, he's from Keno. He said, what are you doing in my hood? This ain't no tourist place over here. So he calls my brother, he calls Jamo. And Jamo's like, what are you doing? Why are you over there? Needless to say, I stayed here, and then we went down to Mombasa. But after coming here, I was like, all right,
I want to be Nairobi.
Yeah, Nairobi is where it's at. I love Mombasa, but it's way too hot. That's just one of my biggest complaints. It's extremely too hot. A little bit too slow. It's somewhere you can go relax and have a good time. But Nairobi is right my speed. Yeah. So I was like, yep, Nairobi is it.
So the Nairobi that you got and the Nairobi that you imagined, are they same? Well,
I didn't know. You know, you hear from the coastal people. This is what do you call it? Babylon. Then you get here, you like, it is not that bad compared to the States. This is nothing. So for me, it was just experiencing it firsthand for myself, and I fell in love with Nairobi and the Kenyan people. The Kenyan people is what make Kenya beautiful. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what city you're in, whether you're in Mombasa or Nairobi, it's the Kenyan people. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why did you decide to settle on this side of Nairobi? Because this is Kilimani. Mm-hmm. You would have gone to Karen. You would have gone to Eastlands. Eastlands.
Oh my God.
Moja. You've heard of Buruburu. Mm-hmm. You've heard of Donholm.
Yeah.
Those are the now areas we call Eastlands. Mm-hmm. Then there's Westlands.
Yes.
Then this is the upper hill.
Yes.
Upper side of Kilimani. Actually, when you look at the history of Nairobi, Kilimani is part of the upper part,
Upper hill.
which is direct translation, Kilimani.
Kilimani.
It's a hill.
Okay.
So even the difference between upper hill and Kilimani is one is English and the other one is Swahili.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So that's the difference between the two estates. One is named in Swahili, Kilimani.
English.
The other one is upper hill. It's a hill. Kilimani is a small mountain. So a hill. Yeah.
Okay.
So why did you choose this side?
Well, where I live at is quite nice. I like where I live. It's quiet, it's safe. I feel like you're safe in Kenya, period. But, and then I like this area. And it's hard to find modern style duplexes that are reasonable in Nairobi. And so for me, I really wanted a duplex. But I didn't want to be far from town as well, because of our line of work.
Yeah.
And when we have our clients from the U.S. that we relocate here, or when they come do our investigative tours or medical tourism, we typically have them in these areas. So logistically, it just made sense as well for me to be closer than farther out.
You said that one of the jobs you do is you offer relocation services.
Correct.
I'm looking at a situation where you are selling Nairobi.
Yes.
To people who really want, for example, to relocate from the US, Canada, or wherever.
Correct.
So what is the selling point of Nairobi? What would you say this is what people are looking for when they come to this city? And especially those who are not Kenyans, those who are not who have never lived in Africa.
Yeah, so most of our clients, one seller is they get to see my journey, right? So they'll go to the YouTube page or IG or whatever, and they literally saw me sell my home, all of those things, move here, and then they get to see the way that I live. And so one of the selling points is you don't have to lose anything by moving to Kenya. In fact, it's an upgrade. Relocation is a luxury. I tell people this all the time. I tell all of our clients, it's a luxury. Why is it a luxury? It's an upgrade in quality of life. You're going to pay a fraction of the price that you pay in the U.S. The healthcare industry is better here. It's safer here. You have peace. You don't have to deal with racism and bias. You don't have to deal with the orange man that's in presidency right now. All of those things are an upgrade, and that's a luxury. So that's very attractive to most of our clients who are interested in moving to Nairobi. I believe there's another question I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's in the email, so you will have to respond. We typically do a package. Because we are a concierge company, the infrastructure here is, it's a developing country. Kenya is no longer a third world country. You can't even call it a third world country. It's a two-tier developing country. Kenya is playing on the global scale with most countries in the world. And when you look at Nairobi being the capital of Africa, Nigerians don't come for me. I know y'all gonna say something. But if you look at the infrastructure here in Nairobi, it's like almost compared to some of the cities in the U.S. Really, the infrastructure, how you can get luxury quality living here. The healthcare is another thing that a lot of people don't talk about in Kenya. Real fun fact, Kenya has the second best healthcare in all of Africa, behind South Africa. And if you take away the Mzungus being the majority shareholders in that industry, and you just deal with Kenya, this is black excellence, because it's still majority ran by Kenyans. And that's another attractive piece about Kenya. This is a black ran country, and it operates at a level of excellence that you do not see in some of your neighboring countries. So it's the big boy of East Africa. It's so many things about Kenya it's not a hard sell. Kenya is not a hard sell, especially what's going on in the States right now. People are jumping to move here. Kenya is not a hard sell.
How many have you so far helped relocate?
We just rebranded to Traverse Culture 2.5 years ago. We've probably done over 20 families.
20?
Yeah.
That is a huge number.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge number.
Yep. And it's growing rapidly. Yes.
Like when we speak, as we are speaking today, do you have people already in the pipeline, people you're working on?
Yeah, we got, I was just talking to my brother, because he lives at the coast. So I was asking him, hey, you know, we got a 40-foot container coming in on the 28th with a retiree woman from Georgia that we relocate into Nairobi. She initially went through our partner. Shout out to Diaspora Freedom Initiative, John at the coast, another Black American brother who's doing great things down there, assisting Black Americans to relocate to Kenya, to the Diani area, open up trust funds, build homes and things of that nature. She started with him in Mombasa, but she quickly found out Mombasa's too daggone hot for her. So she said she wanted to come to Nairobi. She reached out to us. And so she did her immigration paperwork with our partner in Diani, and then we took over the relocation piece. So we're shipping her household goods here, a 40-foot container here to Kenya, and we're going to be relocating and integrating her into the community through our 120-day relocation integration program. So yes.
So when you were, after coming to Nairobi, and I know you talked about your first impressions, but you've been here for a while now.
Yeah.
Kiswahili chako?
Kidogo. Kidogo.
Which is the best part of Kenya that has made you now just feel at home for the years you've been here?
Nairobi does. Nairobi makes me feel, I feel bad to say that because my brother is here. But yeah, Nairobi feels like home. It's home. It's home. I really do love, I love Kenya. I love Kenya, but Nairobi is definitely home. But when you go to the coast, it's almost like you are in another country. Then you get back to Nairobi, you're like, dang, I felt like I was out of the country somewhere. You know what I mean? But no, Nairobi is home.
So what makes you like feel at home? What part of Nairobi? Like when I'm asking, like you say when you go, for example, at the coast, sometimes you feel like you are. So what makes you feel at home in Nairobi than in any other place?
Because I have a community here.
You build a community
here.
Yeah,
so I have my Kenyan friends. Now there's some diasporans, Black Americans who I've connected with. I got my favorite restaurants, which I'm taking y'all today.
We must.
Yes, I know how to navigate the city well. My brother was riding with me the other day. He said, hey, you know Kenya better than me. Like, I'm just driving around. All right, then we get into the relocation integration services. We identify social awareness with you. The craziest thing you're gonna see is driving. Driving is an extreme sport here. It pisses me off every day.
And that is just normal driving, normal traffic. You are just in normal traffic and it's just crazy.
I get mad every day. I'm like, I'll get in my car, I'm like, I'm not letting these people make me mad today. And I'll see something stupid and I get mad. I'm like, oh my God. So the driving is the worst. But other than that, and it's so confusing because Kenyans are so nice, so welcoming, so reserved. And when they get on that highway,
until you meet them in traffic.
Tasmanian devils. They turn into a whole nother, it's like, to me, the Kenyan culture is passive aggressive. It's not an aggressive culture.
Yeah.
But on the road, it's aggressive. It's defensive driving.
We normally,
no courtesy.
In simple terms, we normally say God for us all, but every man for himself when you're on the road.
On the road. We went to Kisi, and we was at Rift Valley Point and got stuck there. Backed up traffic. Backed up. Oh my God.
Is it the Mahmayu?
Yes.
The one you go down.
At the peak. At the top where you could look down.
Yes, yes.
Oh my goodness. We were there for 2 hours. Backed up traffic. So I'm turning the van, trying to weave through the traffic.
You are the driver?
Yes. I drove to Kisi and back. And that was an experience. That definitely was. We learned that if you're going to leave from Kisi, to go back to leave on time because you'll get stuck in that traffic. And we were afraid that we were going to spend the night there because it was looking like We were, but we got out. Yeah. That was the craziest thing. Traffic.
But have you been to any Kenyan village?
Yeah.
Where?
I've been to Kisumu, the village out in Kisumu. I forgot the name of the village because my DNA came back Luo. My team took me to Kisumu in 2021.
Your DNA came back?
Luo, 27% Luo.
27% Luo. You're not from any other. The highest was Luo.
No. 33% Nigerian, Esau.
Nigerian.
Ishan, yes. So I went to Nigeria in February to where I'm supposed to be from.
So from
my family started here, and then we went somehow. I don't know. We were intermarrying, like what you're starting to see now. And we went back and forth between Nigeria and the region that you call Nigeria and the region that you call Kenya, because remember these are created borders.
Yes, they were created.
They didn't exist. And then we ended up in Benin. And then we ended up on the coast of the eastern shores of North America.
Well, when you come back here and you look at the blacks in Africa and the blacks in America, what will you say is the difference among the blacks that were born and raised up in America and the blacks now born and like me? Yeah.
Huge difference. We have I would say a 700-year disconnect between ourselves, especially Kenyans and Black Americans. But we're definitely similar in a lot of ways. So take for instance what we eating today. You guys were asking me to eat the other greenery, but I kept saying I want skooma. Well, skooma is collard greens. It's a meal that we cook in the States as Black Americans. Fun fact is it originates and is indigenous to East Africa. But any African American you meet in the US, if they're African American, they eat skooma. Just like if you Kenyan, you eat ugali. Same thing in the States, we eat skooma. That is our traditional dish as the Black American community. Even with ugali, while I'm not a big fan of ugali, all ugali is hard grits. So anybody from the southern part of the United States, especially if you're Black, you eat ugali, you just eat it softer. That's a part of our culture. So you see the
soft one.
The soft one, which is soft ugali.
It's not hard as ours.
No. But if you Black, you eat ugali in the States. Right? So that shows you the connective tissue just through food. We ain't gotta talk about DNA. I look like you, you look like me, we're the same color, right?
Yeah. Until you say something.
Until we say something. So culturally, we're distinctively different. You know, we're as American as we are. You know, we're more American than we are African culturally. Right? But our roots are from the continent. You can see the similarities in the culture and the traditions that we kept when we were stolen from Africa and brought to North America. But I think the biggest thing that you can see is you still can speak your mother tongue. You can speak Swahili. We only speak English because we were stripped of that.
So there's a part of let me say you are removed from the umbilical cord.
Correct. Our entire identity was stripped from us. And we were only able to keep certain parts of our African culture.
The one that your ancestors could get hold on.
Correct.
Yeah. Because now you are when you read the story about slave trade and everything, they were being picked, one from here, another one from there. So you don't have someone you can speak to in your mother tongue.
Yeah, they will break up the family. The part of controlling. There's a book called How to Make a Negro, something like that, and they explain how they created the Negro in America by disconnecting the umbilical cord, to your point, but breaking up the family. So even if they got married and they had children and they seen that, okay, this is not working for us, they'll ship the wife off, ship the husband off, or they would interbreed them. So they'll literally have the father sleep with the daughter, the mother sleep with the son, and breed intermarrying. That type of trauma is something that has been passed on generational through the Black American experience. And we share the same trauma with you all being colonized here. The difference is that, well, at least your colonizer left the country. He still colonized the mind. He still controlled the school system here. He still controls some of the politics here. And we can go on and on. But we have to live with these people in America. We speak their language. We go to their schools. We go to their churches. We wear their clothes. You see what I'm saying? And so it's a very dynamic experience, the Black American experience. But we all share the same oppressor. And so there's no difference there.
For you, they came, took you from Africa. For us, they came and stepped on us.
Stepped on us.
On our land.
Yes. And on your own. Jomo Kenyatta said, when the missionaries came to Kenya, or to Africa, the missionaries had the Bible and the Africans had the land. The missionaries then taught the Africans how to pray with his eyes closed. And when the African opened his eyes, he had the Bible and the missionaries had the
land had gone.
That's quoted by Jomo Kenyatta. Now, what do you think about this?
It looks awesome. It tastes awesome.
All right, so please tell the audience about the food. I said, I'm going to take you to the best fish place in Nairobi. Y'all said, no. You brought up another restaurant. I said, okay, she's good, but this one is better. No.
Next time I will take her to experience my place. I've experienced her place.
I experienced that place.
Amazing.
I've experienced, which one?
Now I want to take you to Kamakis.
Oh.
Now that one is not fish. Now you do barbecue.
I did that thing, but
Kenyan barbecue. Kikuyu barbecue.
We'll go.
Yes.
But tell the people about the fish.
But I've said
Say it
a million times. I've said the fish was amazing. Fish points.
Yes.
Amazing.